الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم صلى الله عليك يا رسول الله وعلى أهل بيتك المظلومين صلى الله عليك يا سيدي ويا مولاي يا أبا عبد الله يا رحمة الله الواسعة ويا باب نجاة الأمة ويا عبرة كل مؤمن ومؤمنة يا غريب يا شهيد كربلاء فيا ليتنا كنا معكم سادتي فنفوز فوزا عظيما. قال الله الحكيم في محكم كتابه الشريف وقوله حق. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هذه سبيلي أدعو إلى الله على بصيرة أنا ومن اتبعني. صدق الله العلي العظيم. Illuminate your hearts and minds with allowed salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. We have heard a lot about Al-Fadl Abbas alayhi salam. We have heard about his loyalty. We have heard about his braveness and other virtues that he had, how strong he was, how committed he was to Islam, to his brother, his manners to his brother, that he would never tell Imam Hossein, Ya Akhi. He would always say, Ya Imami, my Imam, even though he was the brother of Imam Hossein alayhi salam. But there's one virtue that it's not paid attention like it should be. In narrations we have that when we want to pray, we pray for two virtues. And it's different. Sometimes it mixes up, but it's different. One time we have basar, we have the eye, how we see with our physical eye, and we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the brightness for the eye. وَنُورًا فِي بَصَرِ. What does it mean, nuran fi basari? It means that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will enlighten my eye, and inshallah I wouldn't see haram anymore, I would do good with it. That's nuran fi basari. And also it has a physical meaning, that never that I get blinded. Inshallah that I will always see. It's a physical dua for our salama, for our health, that always inshallah I can see. So وَنُورًا fi basari, I can see with my eye. We have another narration, we have another dua, another prayer that we do to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And what is that? It's from the same root. What is it? It's وَبَصِيرَةً فِي قَلْبِي, and put insight in my heart. Insight in my heart. There's two different. We sometimes see with our eyes, but our hearts doesn't see. They don't see. They are blinded. وَبَصِيرَةً فِي قَلْبِي. When Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, he wants to describe Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa he wants to describe his uncle Abul Fadl Abbas alayhi salam. How does he describe him? Usually we think that we should describe Abul Fadl Abbas as the most loyalty, the most strongest in Karbala, the most bravest. Nobody could stand in front of him. But Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, he represents Abul Fadl Abbas in this way. He says, Rahimallah Ammi al-Abbas, Ammun al-Abbas. May God bless our uncle Abbas. What was he? He was Nafidul Basira. He had precise Basira. His Basira, his insight was on dot. Nafidul Basira. It was sharp. This insight that he had. Nafidul Basira. That's how Imam Sadiq alayhi salam describes Abul Fadl Abbas. So it probably is important that Imam Sadiq doesn't say his loyalty, doesn't say his braveness, his strength. He doesn't mention them. He says Nafidul Basira. What is this Nafidul Basira that Imam Sadiq alayhi salam talks about? What is this insight that Imam Sadiq alayhi salam talks about? To understand how deep this meaning is, we bring different occasions, different examples from the Quran that this test of basira is so hard that sometimes even the prophets, they are struggling to have this basira. Even the prophets, some of them, they struggle. It's a hard test. It's not an easy test. It's where this basira, this insight, where does it show itself? In difficulties. You have to have that basira. And so some prophets, they struggle with that basira. And other companions that we have. For an example, we have Prophet Noah, Prophet Nuh. One of the most greatest prophets that we have, Prophet Nuh alayhi salam. After he invited those people in that time, in his age, in the era of that time, he invited them to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They didn't. They always made fun of him. So one time he wanted to ask Allah for punishment. Allah said, no, wait more. Wait more. Until 10 times they say he wanted to ask for punishment, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would say, wait more. So he had that patience. After that time, he asked Allah that I can't handle it anymore. And Allah says, then build an ark. And he starts to build it. Still they make fun of him. Why? Because it was in the middle of the desert. He's building an ark and there's no sea around him. They're making fun of him. For 40 years, he's building this ark. And there's not even one drop of water. Where does he want to send this ark? So they still made fun of him. And after that, when suddenly they see that the adhab, the punishment is coming, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has opened the skies with rain. And it's raining and all people are drowning. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that I save to Prophet Noah. He tells Prophet Noah that whoever has iman and is from your ahl, I will help him. I will save him. I will save that person. And Prophet Noah, he enters the ark and he tells his son that, oh son, if you don't enter it, you're going to drown too. What does the son answer? He says, I'm going to go where? On the top of the mountain. On the top of the mountain, how much water is there going to rain? How much rain is it going to be to reach the top of the mountain? That's impossible. That's impossible. So the Prophet, because he was the father of this kid, he felt that responsibility. So he asks Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that, Ya Allah, inna ibni min ahli. This kid is from my ahl. And inna wa'adaka la sadiq. Your promise that you give, you are truthful. You are truthful. So I'm just asking this. This is one of my ahl. I don't want more. I'm not asking you too much. You told me that you will save my ahl. And I'm asking that, simple, and explaining, not even asking. Inna ibni min ahli, my son is my ahl. Wa anna wa'adaka sadiq. You told me. And I know you are sadiq. You are trusting. You never lie. What does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala answer? He says that this kid is not from your ahl, and don't talk more because you might be ignorant. If you start to talk more, you might be ignorant. You're going to go with the qawm of jahilin. And in that moment, Prophet repents to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that I didn't have a meaning. I didn't want to say something rude. I just wanted to ask you for my son. So in that moment, the Prophet, he didn't have that insight, the top level insight that he should have. And this is from Quran. I'm not making it up. It's all from Quran. It's what the Quran says, that Prophet Noah did this. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala answered him in this way and he repented. So this insight that it was needed, Prophet Noah didn't have that top insight. He didn't understand that his son, yes, it's his son, but Allah said, I'm going to save those that are righteous. He's not righteous, so I'm not going to save him. And don't ask anymore about that. That's one example. Another example, Prophet Moses, Prophet Musa, one of the greatest one of the Panchtan we call, those that had a book, had a Sharia. And he has great knowledge. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells him that go see somebody and he will give you more knowledge. Who is that? That is Prophet Khidr. Prophet Khidr that we have. And he goes to see him, and Prophet Khidr tells him that you don't have the patience. I know you're going to break. I know you can't handle what I'm going to teach you. Prophet Moses says, no, inshallah, I will be among those that are patient, inshallah. You go and I will try to be my best. So they start their journey. The first place they go, they are on a ship. And the ship is 100% in a good way. What does Prophet Khidr do? He breaks it. He breaks a part of it. And this is against our religion. Don't break something that is not for you. It's not yours. It's somebody else's. So you're doing tasarruf. You're acting upon it. It's like entering somebody's house without their permission. You are breaking somebody's ship without the permission of him. So if I was there, I would say the same. That Prophet Khidr, what are you doing right now? You are breaking somebody's ship that is 100% perfect. And you're not getting their permission. At least get their permission. Prophet Khidr told him that, I told you, you don't have that insight. You don't have that patience. And Prophet Musa said, no, examine me one more time. Test me one more time. And this one, the second one, is very hard. He goes, Prophet Khidr, and kills an innocent boy. Suddenly, kills a boy. Kills a kid. And Prophet Musa was like, what are you doing? You got a person's life. What's the reason of that? Yes. So why did you do that? Why did you do that? Prophet Khidr told him, still, I told you to not ask questions. Third time, they go to a city, they are starving, there's a wall that is falling, it's corrupted. And Prophet Khidr starts with Prophet Musa to fix this wall. And Prophet Musa tells him that at least ask them for money. You fix this wall that's in the city. Ask them for money so we can eat something, or ask them for food. Why are you doing this for free? And they didn't give us anything. They didn't help us. We wanted help, they didn't help us. Why are you helping them back? This is the third time. So Prophet said, I'm not going to go with you anymore. And he answers that the first one was for this reason. Inshallah, recite the Quran and you will find the reason. And he says that the first one was for this reason, the second for that, and the third for this. What did Prophet Moses lack here? Was the insight of Khidr. And still, Prophet Moses wasn't saying nonsense. What was he saying? He was saying all religious stuff. He was saying, why do you break something without the permission? Why do you kill an innocent boy? Why do you fix a house without asking any money? So all of them work with our mindsets. But when it's against another hujjatullah, when it's against another person that Allah subhanahu, both of them are from Allah. When Allah says obey him, and you have that knowledge still, you have that yourself, you have that knowledge, but you have to obey that person. That's the insight. You still have that knowledge, but the insight tells you that look forward further than your insight that you have, the knowledge that you have, and obey him. And obey this person. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. One of the companions goes to Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, and Imam Sadiq alayhi salam tells him that there will reach a time that difficulties will pour upon all people. And in that time they should read and recite this dua al-Ghariq. What is that? Ya Allah, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim, Ya Muqallib al-Qulub, Thabbit Qalbi ala Dinik. This is the dua. That companion starts to repeat it. He says, Ya Allah, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim, Ya Muqallib al-Qulub wal Absar. He adds that Absar. Thabbit Qalbi ala Dinik. The same. Just added Absar. What does Imam say to him? He says that, yes, Inna Allah muqallib al-qulub wal-absar. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He is the turner of the hearts and the eyes. Yes, that's correct. Whatever you're saying is correct. We have it in the Quran. You're not adding nonsense. But say it. قُلْ كَمَا أَنَا أَقُولُ. But say it just like how I say it. Don't add anything from yourself to it. You're adding it from yourself. So that's another insight Imam Sadiq is teaching us. This is the level of insight we should have. He didn't have insight. He didn't obey 100% that Imam. He added something to it and added a correct thing, not a wrong thing. That's the problem. We sometimes think, okay, this might be wrong. We know that for 100% this is wrong, and we don't even go with it. We don't even analyze it. But sometimes it's a right thing in our mindset. When we analyze it with the other, it's 100%, 180 degrees against it. We say that thing is wrong, not me. I can't be wrong. My mindset, that has to be correct. And we don't have that insight. Another companion, Sallallahu Alaihi Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad. Another companion goes to the Imam, and look how highly this insight was. This is a high insight. Basira that person had. He goes to the Imam and wants to show the insight that she or he had. And tells the Imam that if, in some narrations it's an apple, in some narrations it's a pomegranate. And tells the Imam, if you divide this by 2, and tell that one half of it, it's halal, one half of it, it's haram. One half, you have permission. The other half is forbidden to you. It's one apple from one tree. It's the same. The flesh is the same. There's nothing different in it. But the right side, it's halal. You can eat it, tayyib. The other one, it's haram. It's adab. If you say this to me, I will accept it. And this is an example. It doesn't want to say it's about the pomegranate. Okay, it's about something that you eat. You can avoid both of them. It's not mandatory. You can avoid both of them. But he is giving an example that if you divide in the hard situations, you tell this, like how much insight this person had. If you tell this thing is right, that thing, and they're similar to me, exactly 100% similar to me, I will obey it. You say this path is wrong, this path is right. What's the difference between these two? I don't understand it, but because of you, I will accept it. Because you told me that this is correct, this is wrong, I will accept it. I don't see the differences, but I will accept this path. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Unfortunately, in these days, so this insight helps us. It's a power. It's a virtue that helps us in the path of Ahlul Bayt, in the path of God. I want to reach God. There's tests, there's exams. If I don't have that basira, I will lose my exams. I will fail them. I will fail the exams, and I cannot define which path is right, which path is wrong. In difficulties, that's going to happen to me. So I have to use it. One of the places that is difficult is shubahat, is doubts, it's religious questions. When they ask it and you feel it that this question might be right, this shubha might be right. This saying that they are saying, yes, it might be right. And not only shubahat, the talks that some religious people say, there's in social media, they say it, you think, yes, this is correct with my own mindset, and you don't analyze it anymore. But when you analyze it deeply, you see it's against our main core beliefs. It happens a lot of time. It's not just a simple, like 1 in 100 years. No, it happens numerous times in our lifetime. For an example, the saying that we have from people, from some alims, from some sheikhs, what do they say? They say that Imam Hussein alayhi salam, he went and sacrificed his life for what? For prayer, for salat. That's the path. That was the goal of Imam Hussein. He sacrificed himself for salat. And they give a very perfect example. On the day of Ashura, they were battling in the battlefield. Imam Hussein, when it's the time of adhan, he stops it. And what does he say? He says that you have to pray. They were still attacking. Their lives is more important. They are still attacking. But he says, no, it's the time of prayer. So he died for prayer, sacrificed his life so we can have prayer. And they compare this to everything and any time that we see. Imam Hussein sacrificed himself for fasting, so fasting is more important. Imam Hussein sacrificed himself for jihad. Imam Hussein sacrificed himself for, and they say this all the time, that Imam Hussein sacrificed himself for these furu' ad-din. And one question that comes upon our mind that, yes, salat is high value, but Imam Hussein, with that value, he's the imam. He sacrifices himself, his family, all the kids, just for salat? Just for prayer? Is that really that goal? Yes, salat is very great. It's obeying Allah. But he sacrificed all his family just for salat? Only if he would have went. Isn't that enough? So maybe there's a higher goal here. Maybe we are understanding it wrong. It's a very nice talk. It's a very nice subject. And we have been with it. We have been raised with this meaning. But unfortunately, it's not correct. Why? Because when we analyze the narrations, we see that Imam Hussein alayhi salam, the imamat, the divine guardianship that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives it to somebody, that's part of what? Usul ad-din, the roots of religion. Usul ad-din is 5, right? Tawheed, monotheism, and then what? Prophethood, and then what? Imamat, and then adl, justice, and then what? Ma'ad, the hereafter. 5. And one of them is what? Imamat. So the imam himself is what? Usul ad-din. What is salat? We have 10 furu' ad-din. What is one of them? Is salat. The branches of religion. If you want to, for example, a tree, you have a tree. Do you sacrifice the roots for the branches? No, it's the opposite. You sacrifice the branches for the roots. You want to reach to that root, so you pray. Another example, this usul ad-din is just like the walnut, and around it, it's that shell. And what is that shell? That is furu' ad-din. So it's important. If you don't have that shell, it's gonna rot. If one place of that is broken, that walnut inside will rot, will go bad. So that furu' ad-din is like a shell. Salat, that protects it. But what's the main core? What do you want? You want the walnuts. You want that main core. So you never sacrifice that walnut for that shell around it. You say, okay, I have the shell, I don't want the walnuts. No, it's the opposite. You break the shell to reach to that walnut. So when we analyze it with that insight that we have, we say it doesn't connect with our beliefs. Yes, it's a very nice saying. Yes, salat is important, but it doesn't connect. It doesn't fit in that puzzle that we have in our minds. It doesn't fit it. So what did Imam Hussein do? Yes, salat is important. And they said, what's the answer to this? So this was a type of answer that, okay, you can't do this. So what did Imam Hussein exactly do? Imam Hussein went and sacrificed himself for deen itself, for religion itself, for God subhanahu wa ta'ala, for Allah. He saw that if he didn't sacrifice himself, all religion will go, not just salat, all religion. And what is all religion? It's himself. Imamat is one of parts of religion. So he sees that if I don't sacrifice myself, the imamat after them, Imam Sajjad, there will no be Imam Sajjad anymore. This imamat would be destroyed. Why? Because right now the world is so corrupted that they don't see the imamat anymore. They see it in another path. So if I don't sacrifice this imamat that has to passes down, it doesn't pass down anymore. So that's the main reason. And with that, some effects happen. Well, like when he sacrifices himself, his goal is something else, but something affects, some reactions go after it. One of them is salat gets better. Because of the religion itself gets strong, our main beliefs get strong. One of the effects is salat gets better. Fasting gets better. Why? Because that main core got stronger, and after that the branches got stronger too. The main goal was something else, not the branches. What's the root? But after that, because the root got strong, the branches got stronger. And when we see on the day of Ashura, he wants to pray, we can't say, okay, Imam Hussein sacrificed himself for praying. He is doing what he sees better. Unfortunately, we question our Imam so many times. There's another question, another shubha that we have. What is it that, why did Imam Hussein go and commit suicide? Isn't he alim? Isn't he knowledgeable? So he went and committed suicide. He put himself in tahluka. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Ijtanabu an tahluka in the Quran. Avoid tahluka. Don't do this to yourself. Don't destroy yourself. And Imam Hussein did this exact same thing. He knew all the companions, Muhammad Hanafiya, others would come to the Imam and say, this path you're going, you know yourself. The end is not something beautiful. The end is what? Is death. Is captivity. That's the end. So why did Imam Hussein go this path? Isn't this committing suicide? And we ask this question. This is the funny part. We say this. The Imam himself, he's the most knowledgeable. The Imam himself, he never tells Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that why am I going in this path? He doesn't question Allah, but we question Allah. That why did you send Imam Hussein? Because Allah wanted, Allah willed. Sha'Allah an yarani qatila. Allah wanted to see me dead, to see me killed. We ask Allah, but Imam Hussein doesn't ask Allah. Oh, this difference is that it's the same as Moses and Khidr. We see this same path here. The same message is going path right now. Moses asked Khidr, what are you doing? He says, wait. We are saying, Imam Hussein, what are you doing? He says, wait. I'm doing what I should do. You shouldn't ask me. You shouldn't question me. So we question Allah more than the Imam is questioning himself. He's so obedient to Allah, but we are not. We say, Imam Hussein, you should have done it that way. You shouldn't go to Karbala. Why did you do that? That's suicide. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So for these days, okay, we talked about inside the shubahat. Another place that we can use our insight is our daily lives. In our daily lives, we can also use that insight. MashaAllah, social media is everywhere. And this happens usually that we see a clip, we see a video, we see a message, and we start judging. We start thinking it differently. We start judging it. We start comparing it. We start analyzing it. We start believing it. That's the hard part. We start believing it. Without any knowledge, without any insight, we start to accept that. And a lot of shubahat come from this. A lot of our doubts is from this social media. We see somebody asks a beautiful question in a very beautiful way. Like a person, he's a very good influencer. He has millions of followers. He asks a question. He doubts Islam. He doubts Imam Hussein. I said, yes. And he talks very beautifully. And we say, yes, that's correct. Why? Because millions follow them, and when we see the comments, everybody is saying, perfect, you are saying it correctly. Everybody is saying yes, we believe in it. It happens a lot. I mean, it's not something only like one person it happens. No, a lot of times it happens. We sometimes don't pay attention. We're just scrolling and we see some videos about this and that. It comes to our mind without ourselves knowing about it. They make fun sometimes about what we do. We do matam, they make fun of it. And this goes to our head that maybe I'm not doing it right. Maybe this path is wrong. Yes, alhamdulillah, we commit it, but after a while, we question ourselves that really, why are they laughing to us? Why are we different? And this is all questions on social media. Why are we different? Why do they do this? Why is their prayer different? Especially the minority that we are. Sunnis are different, Shias are different. Shia has more attacks upon them. You are different than other sections of Islam and the minority, and you say you are haq, usually the questions are upon you. They ask about your Allah, they ask about your Prophet, they ask about Imam Ali and all the Imams. And without any insight, without any of this virtue, we accept it. We judge it. This is one type of social media. The other type is when, for example, our friends, they post something in social media. We see something, somebody, we see a lot, a sheikh or politician, anything. They talk and only 15 seconds of it is cut, is edited. We only see that 15 seconds and we judge them. We say, yeah, what are you talking about? That's incorrect. That's wrong. And we start blaming him. We see, no, he's a tyrant. He's a munafiq. He's a person that we shouldn't accept anymore. He's wrong all the way. And then if we don't go search that, what happened? What is its entire speech? What does he talk about? And we see, no, really, he was correct. We were judging him. So when we enter, this just was two examples. When we enter the world of social media, these phones, when we enter it, enter with this feeling that this knowledge that they are giving to us might be incorrect. It's not only about religion, about a lot of stuff. When we talk to the youth, they say, okay, did you know about this fact? I said, where did he find it? That makes no sense. It says, okay, well, I saw it on social media. Now, where did he come from? How did he make it up? How did he make it up? And our knowledge source has become our phones. Whatever there's on TikTok, on Instagram, we believe it very soon. Not like our books. If we read something in books, we question it. But when we see it in social media, we accept it without questioning the background. This path that we have entered, this era that we have entered, the social media era, is a very, very hard era. It's very difficult. It has challenges. It's challenging us. It's testing us. When we enter it with insight, with basira. Have that insight. Don't accept everything very quickly. Just have this question in your mind that what I'm seeing may not be correct. And 90% of the time, it is not correct. So this is the social media. Other places in our life. For what? We interact to a person. There's both of the ways. We interact to a person in the community, or somebody comes and we want to marry. They want to ask, they propose. Both sides we see it. That he or she, if she's or he wearing a good clothes, and also we look up on the social media, he has written in the bio a great hadith, a Quran, all of his plans were to Karbala, all his trips were to Karbala and Mecca. We soon accept it. That this person, first of all, has money. He's wearing a good clothes. He has, or she has the last model car, vehicle, money, faith. What's better than that? We soon accept it. Well, after that, we see that After 6 months, they are divorced. That person that you thought was the best, you have the most fight with them. At first, they were the angel of your life. Right now, they're the devil. What happened? When you committed to them, you didn't use that insight. Is that enough? Money enough? Is that also? He's going to Karbala, going to Mecca. He's faithful. He prays at the first time. He does that. She does that. Is that enough? Or you have to go forward, further in. How does they react to their parents? Do they have respect to them? That's one of the factors. One of the factors. Do they respect the parents? At the time of when they're angry, when they're upset, how do they react to the other people? Do they just go crazy? Or no, they have patience. They can handle difficulties. That's other factors that we don't pay attention. We don't have the insight to pay attention to these. And after 6 months, we find difficulties. Why? Because these were not our factors. We didn't use our insight, our heart for choosing him. We just used our eyes. We only saw them in the worldly way. We didn't use that heart that we have. Other places is the same, not just marriage. In work is the same, our insight. We see that if I go in this path, I will get a great income and I will use it for our families. We use this justifying. We justify it. I will use this money in the path of my family, in the path of Imam Hossein alayhi salam. But it's shubh. It's not that 100% clear. What is it? But it's great money. And I'm going to attend it. I'm going to go in this work. Like a lot of stocks that we see. We don't know the background of it, but it has a good income. So we go into it and we don't know what's the background. It might be shubhanak. It doesn't have, we don't know. But because it has a good income, I want money for my family, not for haram things. We enter it without that insight. Without that insight. I go get applied to a place and I don't check the backgrounds of them. This community, this place, what's the background? Are they good? Are they bad? I don't know. Why? Because I don't use that. Only because of money, because of the worldly thing, only because it's famous, only because it looks good, I go commit to it. A lot of trends that happen is the same. We don't use that insight. So it's very hard. I told you a lot of companions, they didn't get justified in this exam, get accepted in this exam. It's a very hard exam. And when Imam Sadiq says Nafidul Basira, he means something. It means that between all the virtues, I say Nafidul Basira. Why? Because it's hard for him in that time. When Shimr comes up, he was the family of who? Of Abul Fadl Abbas. They were from one tribe. And in that time, tribes were something great. When Umar ibn Sa'd, he sees that Abul Fadl is there, he sends a amannama. He sends a letter that you are safe. You are my family, you are safe. Just like what? Just like what Prophet Noah did to his son. You are safe, you come here. This way it's the opposite. They are in hell, he's in heaven right now. Just the opposite of the Prophet Noah. So he doesn't say, okay, because they are my family, I should go to them. No, he stays with Imam Hussein. He also doesn't even want to answer them. Imam Hussein tells him to go and answer to that person. So this is Abul Fadl Abbas. Tonight is the night of Abul Fadl Abbas. Bab al-Hawa'ij alayhi salam. The door of any haja that you want, the door of granted wishes is Abul Fadl Abbas. So whatever wish you have, what do you want? You want a good marriage, you want a good child, you want a good community, you want a good future for yourself. This is the night. This night is the night. Ask Abul Fadl Abbas. Ask him to help you, inshallah. He will help you, 100% he will help you. Even though he doesn't have a hand, he will grab your hand. Abul Fadl Abbas, he doesn't have a hand, but he will grab your hand. What we say in Persian, Bi dast Karbala, dast mara begir, Qamar Bani Hashim, Abul Fadl Abbas. Oh, you that don't have a hand, grab my hand, Abul Fadl Abbas. If you let go, I can't handle anymore. This is Abul Fadl Abbas. So Abul Fadl Abbas, on the day of Ashura, he sees that everybody is going, but he never asked Imam Hussein for permission until the time that he saw everybody went. He couldn't handle anymore. His brothers went, his cousins went, everybody went and battled, but he is there. So he feels ashamed. I am the person that is the strongest, but still standing here. So he goes to Imam Hussein that, Ya Hussein, I can't handle it anymore. Imam Hussein, when he sees him, he cries, Abul Fadl Abbas, if you go, I'm gonna be lonely. You are my flag hander. You have the flag in your hands. Ya Abul Fadl Abbas, if you go, I become lonely. Abul Fadl Abbas first accepts, but suddenly he hears from behind the tents that the kids are crying, Al-Atash, Al-Atash. So Abul Fadl Abbas, what does he feel? He feels that he has to bring water. What is that famous saying? Ya Abbas, jib al-mai liskina. Abul Fadl, go bring water for this little daughter Sakina. So Abul Fadl Abbas grabs the water. He wants to go and get the water. He grabs the skin and goes to get the water. 4,000 people are standing in front of him, but they are all scared of Abul Fadl Abbas. This is Abbas. This is his bravery. They are all scared of him. He goes and attacks them. He goes in the middle of them and he reaches the river of Furat. He reaches the river of Furat. When he reaches, he puts his hand in the water. He brings the water up. He sees the water. He wants to drink the water. But what does he remind? What is in his mind? He sees that the kids of Imam Hussein, all of them thirsty. He doesn't feel that he wants to drink the water. He says this poem, very beautiful poem. Ya nafs min ba'd al-Hussein huni wa ba'dahu la kunt an takuni. هذا الحسين وارد المنوني وتشربين بارد المعيني. How do you dare to drink water when Imam Hussein is thirsty? This is the loyalty of Abul Fadl Abbas. So he doesn't drink water. He is thirsty. He grabs water and he goes. He wants to go back. All the enemies, they can't face Abul Fadl Abbas. So what do? They ambush him from behind. They see Abul Fadl Abbas has the water from his right hand. What do? They attack his right hand and cut his right hand. But Abul Fadl Abbas doesn't stop. He's there. He says, Wallahi in qada'tumu yamini. By God, if you cut my right hand, inni uhami abadan andini. I will stand with my Imam until the last part. He grabs it with his left hand. The enemy come and he stabs again the left hand, and the left hand of Abul Fadl Abbas is cut off. So where does he put that water? Where does he put that skin? He grabs it with his teeth, Abul Fadl Abbas. He grabs it with his teeth. The enemy see that they can't stop him. So what they do? They start to attacking with arrows to him. Abul Fadl Abbas, he tries to protect the water, but suddenly he sees that an arrow entered the skin. The water all poured down. At that moment, Abul Fadl Abbas didn't know to go to the tents or go back. He feels the shame. What is he going to tell Sakina? I went and didn't bring you water, oh uncle. At that moment, an arrow entered the eyes of Abul Fadl Abbas. Ya Shia, what happened? Abul Fadl Abbas, he couldn't see, so he wanted to grab the arrow with his knees. He bends down, his helmet, he falls. Abul Fadl Abbas, from behind, the enemy sees the opportunity. He grabs his sword, and when Abul Fadl Abbas is coming back, he strikes Abul Fadl Abbas. Abul Fadl Abbas, he falls down from the horse to the ground, but he doesn't have his hand, so he can't protect himself. He falls to the ground. At that moment, he calls Imam Hossein, Ya akh, adrik akhak. The only moment Abul Fadl Abbas called him a brother was this moment. They see Imam Hussein running to Abul Fadl Abbas. When he reaches Abul Fadl Abbas, how does he see Abul Fadl Abbas? He sees حلقه عشق ترک خورده نگین افتاده. صرف قامت بدنی بود چنین افتاده. هر کجا چشم در این علقمه میندازم قطعی از پسر ام البنین افتاده. Everywhere that I look, Ya Abbas, on this side is your hand, on that side is your right hand, and you are in this way, you are the strongest. After that, they see Imam Hussein, he can't stand up back. Al-an inkasara dhari. He says, from right now, my back has been broken. He says, Abul Fadl Abbas, please come back, Abul Fadl Abbas. Don't you see the enemy? They are laughing at me. They can right now ambush the tents of Bibi Zainab. And he starts to say, Daman keshan rafti, delam zir o ru shod, delam zir o ru shod. دلم زیر چشم حرامی با حرم رو شد. Where are you, Ya Abbas? After the Zainab is alone, Ya Abbas, sallallahu alayka ya Aba Abdullah. We have this tradition in our Iranian. We recite this poet on the night of Abul Fadl Abbas. I want everybody to intend. Those that know, please recite after me. ای اهل حرم میر و علمدار نیامد. ای اهل حرم میر و علمدار نیامد. علمدار نیامد. علمدار نیامد. سقای حسین سید و سالار نیامد. سقای حسین سید و سالار علمدار نیامد. Again, سقای حسین سالار نیامد. سقای حسین سید و سالار نیامد. علمدار نیامد. علمدار امشب حرم آل عبا آب ندارد. امشب حرم آل عبا آب ندارد. علمدار نیامد. امشب حرم آل عبا آب ندارد. امشب حرم آل عبا آب ندارد. ای اهل حرم میر و علمدار نیامد. ای اهل حرم میر و علمدار نیامد. سقای حسین سید و سالار نیامد. سقای حسین سید و سالار نیامد. علمدار نیامد. Everybody, ای اهل حرم میر و علمدار نیامد.